All right, so welcome everyone. So we're unfortunately here on Selection Sunday. We unfortunately cannot do a bracket challenge prediction that we were hoping on planning, but instead we're gonna probably do just some sort of like our top 3 in some random categories of what our favorite logos are of teams that we're probably gonna make the tournament, just more based on Joel and Nardi's. We're just gonna go through just different categories.
The word you're looking for is categories.
That's right. So we're just going to go through some different categories. So we have 6 of them. We have letters incorporating designs, best birds, dogs, people, animals, miscellaneous. So we'll just see what our top 3 are. So we're probably just going to start with I'm just going to say the most boring one of all the categories. Let's just do it the letters, just the straight up standard letters. So,
which is also the most populous.
Yeah, unfortunately. So there's a lot of teams that we had going on for all the letters. There is a letters and letters incorporated. There is a difference that we kind of had to vote on if they incorporated their mascot into their logos, what our difference was. So let's start off with the letters. Josh, do you want to start off with your top 3 letters, starting from number 3 and explaining why?
Sure. My number 3 is going to have to be Indiana. I just like the way the letters are and the symbol that they make. And at number 2, I'm gonna have to put St. Mary's. The reason for that would be just because they come in second every year. Anytime. So just gotta throw them in second.
You know they did win last year, right?
I know. It took us playing drunk for that.
And then at number 1, I got Villanova. I just respect them as a program. So,
Rick, what's your top 3 letters?
Top 3 letters. We're gonna go with number 3. I'm gonna go with Marquette because Jesuit. Gotta respect it. Also, they're like a top 5 journalism school in the country, so that's pretty cool. And you gotta have something going for you when you're from Wisconsin. And then West Virginia is number 2 because actually like. Mad respect for Press Virginia. It's incredible that they're a top 30 program year in and year out. When your recruiting spiel to athletes is, hey, do you want to come play basketball for me where we are running all the time and you're going to be dead tired? And then number 1, I've always liked this logo and kind of respected it, Texas Tech. I think it's a really neat idea. And it kind of sells the point.
Yeah, the T within the T. That's
yeah,
really
the
cool.
T with.
Honestly, personally, I had probably Texas Tech like battling for number 3, but I actually had them probably as number 4. And unfortunately, for my number 3, I actually had West Virginia as well. I think it's a really cool logo. Everything's symmetrical about it. There's a lot of just like math involved. It's just like like those very satisfying logos where everything is just so perfect. Like that's really why I like West Virginia as my number 3. My number 2 is actually East Tennessee State. We were discussing this earlier, and with the E, like having it, and we didn't really think that this was an incorporated logo, but they did incorporate their state within the logo, which is really cool right in that middle. The reasoning why we didn't have like it as an incorporated logo is just because it was just the predominant E, so we really thought of it more as a letter, and I wanted to give it a shout out as just having that cool little design in it. And then fortunately for my number 1, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate from these 2 guys, but I actually chose St. Mary's College as my number 1, kind of going along the same lines as West Virginia. There's a lot of symmetry involved with it, but it also sells that Gaelic logo, that Gaelic design, because they are the Gaels. It does look like it represents like kind of their mascot.
So what the hell is a Gael?
It's just someone from the Gaelic descent. You know, like the Irish?
Yeah, then be the Irish.
Yeah,
like Notre Dame.
I think it's a really cool logo just because it sells that point of like that medieval-ish looking times kind of thing. I'm sorry, like I thought it was cool. Out of all these letters,
I didn't know this was happening. Otherwise, this would not be at my house. You would not be at my house if I knew this was happening.
I'm sure I'm not invited after this anyways.
Nope.
All right, so we're gonna go on the next one. Let's go on to just letter designs. The letters incorporated. Rick, do you want to start off with this one?
Sure. My incorporated. Number 3 is going to be Cincinnati. I like the duality because it is just straight up. It's a C. It's very simple. It's direct. This is Cincinnati, but it's also a bear claw to go with the Bearcats, which it just that duality. It's a neat idea and I like it. Number 2, it's going to be Creighton because I like how it's a blue jay. It's just a blue jay. but also it's a C. Like the C is just a part of the. Like I like how that meshes together. Also, Jesuits kind of played into that just a little bit. Obviously, I'm a Jesuit fanboy. And number 1, I went with Eastern Washington University because it's an eagle, but the EWU is forming into the eagle. So I like how that just meshes together and how neat it is, and because also Cheney's a decent town.
Alright, so for my 3-letter designs, number 3, I actually have Virginia in this one. It's like a simple design, just the V with the 2 sabers beneath it. I just think of like putting this over a fireplace. Like it's just kind of like that, just solid.
And then burning it.
But I mean, it feels like it is Virginia in that sense, and that like you put it over the fireplace, it has like that kind of like the Revolutionary War kind of era kind of feel.
You know, when you win your one and only championship, you're
Hanging up there on above the fireplace.
No, but it's like I think it's a very simple, subtle logo. But it is a very simple, subtle logo. That's why I like having that little incorporated saber design into it. My number 2 is actually also Eastern Washington University. It's a really cool logo having that EW within the birds. Actually, funny story, for like probably a good like month or 2 of me looking at this logo, I did not know those were actually letters incorporated into the logo. And then once I saw that, I'm like, okay, that's a really awesome logo, really cool. To incorporate all that and how it flows together, having the U be the tail and the E and the W be a part of the wings, it really just meshes together. And actually my number 1 is actually Cincinnati. Very simple, but it's very brilliant way to incorporate that bear claw into it.
So my 3 are gonna be similar to these guys. My number 3 is Cincinnati. Just simple design, nice, clean. Yeah, so number 2, I've got something different. I've got San Diego State. Just the way they simplified it with their 2 letters and the spear. It's just nice and simple. And then number
Yeah.
yeah. And then at number 1, I've got Eastern Washington. Just
Hey.
definitely the most unique.
No,
It's the best incorporated.
Yeah, by far out of all of them, it's definitely the best. So the next category we're going to go on is actually going to be the people. First off, we want to give a big shout out to North Kentucky University. We didn't feel like it was going to be fair to put you guys in this kind of a category just because you didn't have a person's face. Everyone else had some sort of people face or something along those lines. But you guys have a really awesome logo with the Norse Vikings, just that helmet and the sabers. It's a really cool idea. It's really unique, really awesome, really brilliant. Anything you guys want to say about this logo?
I like it. It's neat. It'd be kind of cool if you just put a face underneath the helmet. Or just no face, just the beard, just the beard. There you go. Okay. Marketing director, give me a call. I want a piece of this.
I agree with you guys. Nice, simple design. Add a little more to it to make it a little more unique.
We'll put you guys in this category. I would have had you in the top 3 for sure.
And congrats on maybe making the tournament. Oh, congrats on making the tournament. Congrats on not getting corona before the band.
Alright, so for our number 3 for the people or people faces, something along those lines, because these aren't all necessarily people. My number 4 is going to be New Mexico State. I think it's kind of like a funny... Oh yeah, because I had Kentucky as number 3. So number 3, I knew New Mexico State as my number 3. It's that desert theme. It's like that bandit theme. It's kind of different, kind of unique. It's not something that you see every day.
It feels like 50s, 60s Western style.
Yeah.
Like finger guns.
So at number 2, I gave it to the Seton Hall. Nice color play. You do play with the whole dark shadow, or like the dark colors and the light colors to give it that symmetry look. I think it was a really cool, more just with the color play, having like that little beard look to it. I like that little mustache kind of give like that Eric Carlson look on the Sharks.
The French pirate.
Yeah, the French pirate. But it looks really cool. I like the color play between the 2. And then my number 1 is actually Florida State University. That big tie with the Seminoles. They do a lot with that tribe, so I do have to give it to them. And it's a really cool logo. It's a very powerful logo, very empowering look to it. And that subtle FSU in the earpiece is actually really cool. It took me a while for that one to figure out that was in that little logo and that little design.
I never knew that.
Yeah, see, it's something new every day. So yeah, so that's really why I picked it. There's a lot of subtleties, but it's very powerful look and having that like sun look to it as well.
So at number 3, I might get some hate from you guys, but I chose Michigan State.
Yeah, more than me.
It's a nice, simple design, simple look. You just got the side of a Spartan helmet.
Izzo's legit.
Yeah, Izzo's got a good program up there. With number 2, I also picked Seton Hall. I just like just the design of the logo. Kind of doing like a what's it called? You got white and black.
I don't know, like the darks and lights mixed. Yeah, I know that.
Contrast.
Negative.
Negative. Nice how they did that with the face of the pirate. Number 1, I got the ASU Devils, the Sun Devils. I just like instead of just doing like a head or a face or something like that, they did the full body of the devil, and they got the Triton pitchfork.
I actually had to go with this logo because their tentacle logo is just the pitchfork itself, so I just gave it. Hey Rick, what's your top 3?
So we're doing people. Number 3 is Robert Morris because IDK. I like the colors of it. I like the classical throwback Patriot thing. It kind of it just strikes you as like an old timey long term respect aspect. I don't know, just it looks like a Patriot League thing, and they're from the Patriot League if I remember correctly.
Sure.
And number 2, completely unscripted. I wrote it down before they even talked. Seton Hall.
No way. That's awesome. All BS.
It's right there, sir. To me, it's an unmistakable logo, and I feel like it's authentic for the school. They're in the Big East now, and they kind of have to play that spoiler role where they have to come back and they have to prove themselves every year. I feel like they're not one of those long-term blue bloods, but they're establishing a name for themselves, much like a pirate might be on the waves of the Caribbean. And then my number 1 is Providence because mad respect to any school that owns up to the fact that you're the Friars, and you might be the only ones. And I just like that neat little play. Also, your guys' mascot is hella terrifying, and I love it.
What is it?
Their mascot is straight up like a Dementor type looking thing.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be a friar, but it's just a face mask. But it's like a scream mask in a Dementor costume looking thing.
That's pretty
Wow.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up. Alright, so the next one that we're going to go on to, we're going to go with, let's go with the birds one. Top 3 birds, Josh, go.
Okay, so at number 3, I've got the Louisville. I just like the fierce look of the cardinal.
Angry face.
And after the whole NCAA violation stuff, they gotta have something going for them.
Shout out Iona.
At number 2, I've got the Ducks. Don't know what to say, I just like the logo.
I will actually mention I did not do the O for Oregon. I just wanted to incorporate the bird. I think it's better than their just traditional O. So I know the O is their technical logo, but just playing with the birds, I just want to give them a little shout out into the bird category because they're more known actually for their mascot. I feel like than actually
Oregon Ducks.
Oregon.
Quack, quack.
At number 1, I got Kansas. They've just like with ASU and the People's one. Kansas did a little more than just the bird head. They've got the full body of the bird, and I also like the blue, red, and yellow.
Yeah. Alright, Rick, what's your top 3 birds?
My top 3 birds. I was gonna say no for number 3 because I just don't really like most of them. None of them are really truly bad. So instead, I'm just gonna throw out Kansas as my number 3 because that's one ugly Jayhawk. But way to own up to that. I also like the fact that it actually has the KU in it. So props to that. Number 2, I went with Iowa because that black and white Hawkeye. I mean, it's unmistakable. It's iconic. It's known around the country. Basically, I feel like Iowa is a quintessential America team, a whole bunch of corn-fed farm boys, and they're gonna outwork you. And I respect that. And then number 1, got to go for the hometown Ducks because when you grow up in Eugene, you can't not. Even if you don't like the Ducks, you still have to like them. You can't.
So my top 3 for the birds, I actually went with North Texas for this one. That green bird, it's very strong. Just imagine that as a shiny emerald. And just glistening in the sun, just that green stone kind of a look. Yeah. It's just that strong look. Just imagining it as a green stone, just kind of shining. Number 2, I also went with Oregon. I think that's a very fun logo to have the duck. They very much appreciate the ducks. It's a very fun, cutesy look to it. And actually, number 1, I actually went with Kansas. It's not a pretty logo, but imagine it in a Disney movie. Like just imagine, it's a Disney character. That's pretty much what I think of it when I look at it.
You know
So I
who's
think it's
actually
really
a
awesome.
Disney character? Oregon.
Well, when they went with the Donald Duck logo?
Yeah, which is right there.
It's not Donald Duck.
Yes, it is.
I mean, your old logo was Donald Duck.
It
That's
still
not
is.
Donald.
Still is. They're allowed to use Donald Duck in the state of Oregon. You can't use it outside of it.
Wow.
Yeah, they have a contract with Walt
Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
before Walt died.
But I'm still gonna put Kansas as number one compared to those two logos side by side. So, like I said, it's just that very fun cartoonish look to it. That's why I really like it as the number one. So, our next category, we're gonna go with the dogs. Dogs. Rick, do you want to start off?
Sure, I can start off with dogs. Again, I went with a no for number 3 because I didn't. So there's 5. And I had 2 of them I liked, and then the other 3 I was like, well, what's special about it? So instead, I'll just give a 3-way tie to Boston, NC State, and Butler. Actually, no, it's a 2-way tie between Boston and NC State. Butler, I still haven't forgiven you for 2013. And so number 2 is going to be Siena. I work at a high school, and one of my students graduated last year and actually plays for Siena, or he did at one point this season. I think he might have transferred out. No, he did transfer out. He actually plays for another team on this, but he was recruited and committed there. Okay, now I'm back on page. That's why I like you, Siena. No other reason. And then we're back to number 1 because duh, go Zags.
So my top 3, I actually put number 3 as NC State for mine. It is kind of just like that cartoonish look, kind of what I was talking about Kansas. But when I look at this logo, there's no reason why I put it above. But like with going along with that cartoon theme, do you think that's like an evil guy in a cartoon show?
Absolutely.
Like that's why I kind of have him as a 3. It's different.
He's trying to eat Roadrunner.
Honestly, like it looks like just some like bully within a cartoon, so I can't have them up any higher than number 3. They're just a solid number 3. It's different. It's kind of like that mean look, but it's just like I just get flashbacks to my childhood, just like someone trying to beat you up with a bat or something. Number 2, I actually have Gonzaga on this one.
The door's right there. The door
Is right there. I've seen this logo so many times. I know, I'm wearing them. I understand that I need to have the number 1. I've seen this logo so many times, not just at Gonzaga and for Gonzaga, but for other things as well. I've seen that all the way in Amsterdam.
Where did you have St. Mary's?
That was a different category, by the way. Door right there. I've seen this all the way in Amsterdam. There was a shop over there where it had that logo. I think it was called the Bulldog or something like
right there. My hostel was actually down the street from it. It's actually
Well, no, there's only so many ways to do a bulldog.
Look, there's different ways. Like all those are pretty much different Bulldogs.
Where's Georgia? Can we do Georgia up there too?
Fresno State. But that's why I have him as number 2. And I'm sorry, Rick, but you're gonna kick me out of the house for this one. I actually have Butler as my number 1. Come back, Rick. But I have Butler as number 1. It's a solid look, symmetrical, tough. The only thing that I would give them a criticism for their number 1 look. But the big criticism I will give them for their number 1 look is just like those eyes. Those eyes just look, they don't look tough. It's just like stare into my eyes kind of a look. It's not that all great. Dogs, I just don't know. Like this wasn't my favorite of the categories, to be honest. So Josh, your top 3.
Okay, so my number 3 is Butler.
Okay.
Made the top 3.
I'll tolerate it.
Fierce looking dog, straight on shot instead of the side look.
He's staring at me. That's why.
Number 2, I put NC State. Just mean looking logo. Just like Chris said, just from the cartoon kind of vibe. Number 1, unmistakably.
You can't not put the Zags, but apparently
See,
I didn't want to show my bias.
You can stay in this house.
I didn't want to show my bias. I'm sorry.
You can't not. Just like Rick said, you can't not be a Ducks fan in Eugene.
Alright, so our last category we just have Animal Miscellaneous, just animals that we have in this. I will say that we do have Wisconsin in this category. We didn't just do the W. I like that Bucky logo, so I threw it on the animal. And CU Boulder, yeah, because they have the letters. There's some like that just incorporate their letters with the logo, but predominantly it's the animal within the logo, so that's why we just kind of have as a miscellany animal. My animal's number 3. I actually have Wisconsin as my number 3. That Bucky logo, again, it's just like that tough animal one. Kind of going with the North Carolina State. It is that more evil, tough guy in a cartoon, so I just kind of want to see someone like hit it with a bat or something like that, or like a frying pan over the head, you know? Just an anvil from like the sky.
Okay.
You know, that's why I can't have it higher than a 3. It's a 3 because of all these other things, but you have to be 3 because you're just an evil bad guy. I'm sorry. Number 2, Texas Longhorns. It's probably the most classic of these logos, especially when it comes to the animals. It's solid, simple. Even like their little hand gesture with the little longhorn thing just kind of incorporates it. See, it kind of has that shape.
When you make a simple logo like that, you can make it like that.
It's a simple, bold outline. It's just such a classic logo to look at. Number 1, I have Richmond Spiders. It's just such a unique logo to them all. It's out of the ordinary, different. You wouldn't think of spiders as your logo, essentially. It's kind of cool. Josh, what's your top?
So at number 3, I've got CU Boulder. I just like the whole buffalo look of the logo. Got a good sports program down there, primarily in football. But they represent the Pac-12 pretty well.
They did really good this year, by the way. But this year was a solid run for them.
Then at number 2, I've got the Gators. Nice, clean, oval look with the gator head. At number 1, I've got Wisconsin. They just have a solid badger wearing the W on their sweater.
All right. I'm gonna speak. So Wisconsin, honorable mention number 4. I don't think I've ever met anybody who went to Wisco-Madison that I didn't like. And so like it just seems like a quality, sturdy, good program and school. My number 3 is going to be Belmont. It's definitive, it's strong, it's aggressive.
Hey, I'm a bear. That's what it looks like. Look at it closely. Like, it's such a dumb face that he's making.
Brandon Clark would like to talk to you about making fun of Grizzlies, good sir. So Belmont, props to you for that one. Number 2 is one of those iconic, unmistakable, classic, unique logos. It's going to be the Nittany Lions. It's just, I love the simplicity of just the 2 colors and the negative space, and just it's just there.
That's the word we were looking for earlier.
Negative space.
Yeah, so back to Seton Hall. Negative space.
Anyway, the negative space from Nittany Lions. Props to you on that one. And rounding out, number 1 in the miscellaneous category is going to be North Dakota State, because you put North Dakota State on the map. If it weren't for you in basketball and in FCS football, yeah, I don't know if much people would pay attention to North Dakota State sports. I mean, there's that. What? Oh,
Hockey. Yeah.
in real sports. Wow. No, in all honesty, though, I really like the bison and how it is incorporated a little bit in there. It just looks cool, man. Like it looks cool, and like what you guys are doing up there by like working hard and finding success. Like you gotta respect the game.
Yeah, so again, congratulations to all these teams. I mean, I'm sure we would have seen you all this March Madness. Unfortunately, we're dealing with the coronavirus, so hopefully next year we'll see you all in the tournament. Let us know, what do you guys think is your favorite logo of all of these? Who, based on Joel Lenardi's last and final bracketology prediction of who's going to make the tournament, who is going to be your favorite in all these categories? I would like to know from you guys as well. But other than that, we'll just hopefully see you next time in another video, hopefully soon, but unfortunately we'll probably see you guys next season.
And wash your hands.
Please.
Stay safe.
Avoid social contact.
Lick metal poles and wash your hands.
Kick friends out of houses.
All right.
We'll see you guys.